Let me frame it this way. $7.5 billion is a lot of debt financing. It's a very large number. You are an unusual company because you're doing something with pace, but very closely tied to Nvidia. So I think our audience would appreciate that you just kind of explain how you got the debt financing and how it's structured, because the cast of characters in there are also unusual.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me back on again. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and your audience. This is a very exciting financing for us, and it follows very closely on the coattails of a $1.1 billion equity round that we completed last week. And so it's been a very, very active period of time for CoreWeave in the capital markets. The syndicate of lenders, which is really a who's who of private lending, including, as you said, Blackstone, Magnetar, Coatue, but you also have Carlyle, CDPQ, Digital Bridge, BlackRock, Eldridge, really wonderful names, really great supporters that have a deep understanding of the business and, really provide in coordination with the equity round that closed last week, and a deep validation for the solution that we are delivering to the market, our approach to building, AI cloud infrastructure. And so it's been really a wonderful few weeks here for the company as we really push towards enormous scale.
I mean, this is a big pot of money. As you referenced, $1.1 billion equity funding just done 2 weeks ago. You've now got the $7.5 billion more of debt to put to work, and it's about infrastructure. It seems to be the fact that you want to be doubling your footprint when it comes to data centers. You've already expanded into London, outside of the US. You've just got to be buying those chips and the infrastructure. So where will you put the data centers first and foremost, Michael?
Sure. So a couple of things. One is that in total, over the past 12 months, we've raised $12 billion into CoreWeave. And that is representative of an incredibly capital-intensive build-out of infrastructure, initially across the United States. But now, as you said, we're pushing into Europe. We've got 2 data centers that we're building in London. We've got a footprint in Spain. We'll be up in the Nordics. In total, we'll have 28 data centers by the end of this year that we will be providing our clients infrastructure from. We tried to build our data centers proximate to population centers. Think of it like as the NFL strategy. In terms of trying to put our data centers so that they are relatively low latency providers of infrastructure. But, as I said, our footprint is getting much larger very quickly. And, this pool of capital here, this $7.5 billion, is really focused on the physical infrastructure that we have to build in order to deliver our products to our clients.
Michael, I think a lot of people are really starting to become concerned, or at least inquisitive, about energy and power consumption. Have you a clear strategy for energy and power sourcing in all the geographies you've just outlined?
Yeah, we do, and it's a work in progress. The rate at which we're scaling, we are continually addressing that. My background is actually from energy, and that's where I grew up. And prior to that, I really focused on environmental commodities, and so it's something that's near and dear to me. It's near and dear to the company. We have an entire team internal to the company that are building a strategy we'll have in place by 2030 as we go through this ramp. And so, we understand that there is a moral imperative to take responsibility for the energy that is required to be able to deliver this type of resource to the world.
So what is it? Is it nuclear? Is it just having to be more efficient with what you've got, go for more power efficient chips?
Yeah, so the answer is like so many things around energy, is it's a combination of a number of things, right? So a great example is in the next iteration of our technology build, we'll be moving from air-cooled data centers into liquid-cooled data centers. And the savings that are associated with liquid-cooled provide, maybe 30% more energy efficiency within the data center, because you don't have to run all the air fans. You don't have to move so much cooling through it. It's just more efficient. And so there'll be a significant step function that you will be able to achieve by just evolving the technology into the most modern, energy efficient component. The other thing to think about is from a computational perspective, the hardware that is being delivered right now is enormously more energy efficient per flop than it has ever been in the past.
I know somebody that will make that argument next week. On Monday, I'm going to speak to Jensen Huang, Michael Dell, and Bill McDermott all at the same time. The success of those companies, Michael, to which one is your fate most closely tied?
So look, we have a wonderful partnership with Nvidia. They are absolutely at the epicenter of anyone's approach to building out the physical infrastructure for serving the AI markets. That is a reality of where we are right now, and will be for quite a while. Michael Dell is Dell's an extremely important partner of ours. We require them to be able to build the infrastructure that incorporates the GPUs that we use. And so we are working with many partners across the space.
Are you too dependent, Michael, though? Are you too dependent on Nvidia?
So the world is dependent on Nvidia at this juncture. Their technology is defining the space. And so we work with them because our clients demand the technology that they drive and deliver into the market.
Not AMD? Not any others?
So we look at all different types of silicon. We look at all different types of solutions. But our clients have clearly indicated that for the time being, the type of silicon that they require to build their products, to build the artificial intelligence that's changing the world, is currently being driven in large part by the Nvidia infrastructure.